continue with economics chapter 28, consumption. But today we're going into determinants of saving. When we talk about saving, saving simply means the part of the disposable income we did not spend. That is what saving is. The part of the disposable income that we didn't spend. That is saving. So I wrote, saving is defined as a part of the disposable income that is not consumed, which is the same as spending. So then we have the saving function. For saving function, it simply means the relationship between the savings, the amount of money we save, and the national income. So we have the marginal propensity to save divided by the marginal propensity to consume. So it means we won't talk about saving without income. It's just like consumption too. Nobody consumes without having income. So saving also means we spend based on the fact that we have earned. So saving function I wrote, it refers to the standard equation of saving which defines the relationship between savings and income, where saving value can be derived at the level of the use of their income. So it means we won't talk about saving without generating income. That means we have to generate income before we talk about saving. That is the point there. Another formula or function I wrote about saving is that is the functional relationship between saving and national income. So you can say, they could ask in the exam, what is saving function? You can simply say is a functional relationship between saving and the national income. So for saving function, we can link it to income, wealth, inflation, the rate of interest, expectations, which means the confidence level, and the age profile of the population. These are what we link. These are the things we link consumption with too. So when we talk about savings can be linked to interest. And when we talk about interest rate, we're talking about the price of borrowing or the price of saving. So if interest rate is increasing, consumers will tend to save more to benefit more. So that means saving would reduce. But a fall in interest rate means people will take more money. The saving will be less. For wealth, if wealth is increasing, like the amount of money, the wealth is linked to investment. So if wealth is increasing, it means people start investing more in capital goods, in stocks. It means savings will reduce. Yes or no?
Yes.
Then we talk about the age profile of the population. Middle-aged people would rather want to save more than, because we said the old and the younger ones spend more. So middle age will save more.
To raise up kids and all that.
Because of the future. And they want to save towards their retirement also. I think it's clear.
Yes.
So that's about determinants of savings. So that takes us to the saving ratio. We have the marginal propensity to consume. The saving function, we have the MPS and the APS. APS is average propensity to save, which is savings divided by income. That is APS. Then we have the marginal propensity to save, which is MPS, which is change in savings over change in income. I think the point is clear, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll go to saving ratio. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
So for saving ratio, I go. Saving is the difference between household disposable income and their spending on consumer goods and services. So the difference between the disposable income. What is disposable income? The amount of money we can either spend or save. So the difference between the amount of money we can either spend or save and our consumption on goods and services determines our savings. So it means if we are not spending, we are saving. That's the point there. So now we go to the saving ratio itself. I wrote the saving ratio associates the total level of savings to the total level of household disposable income at current prices. So when we talk about savings, we have to talk about the nominal, the current price. So it's not going to be, that means it's not linked to inflation or whatever, other variables. We're talking about the current price. So that is what you link inflation with. So then we have the saving. What is the saving? I wrote the saving occurs when individuals in total spend the amount of money greater than their disposable income. So we call it the saving because you are spending more than what you have. Do you get the point here?
Yes.
That means you are in negative. So a negative saving ratio means there is the saving. Do you understand what the saving is here?
Yes.
Great. Any question up to now?
No.
So what are the reasons why we could have, what are the reasons for this saving? Number one, when the disposable income levels are very low compared to prices of goods and services, one of the reasons why there could be this saving is the level of income. The amount of money you earn when compared with the price of goods and services is higher. So that means you earn less than what you used to earn. So it means you have to spend more than what you have. So that means if you still want to buy the same quantity of goods that you used to buy, you have to spend more. Do you get the point I'm making here? So that's one of the reasons why we could have the saving. Your level of income is low compared to the price level of goods and services. Two, when the economy is strong, households are confident that incomes will rise over time. You might as well spend more than what you have because you feel that in the future you are going to earn more. So people tend to spend more, even they finish up their savings because they feel that in the future they're going to earn more than what they have presently. So that could also bring about the saving. Is it clear?
Yes.
So what are the consequences? What are the potential consequences of changes in the saving ratio? So for savings changes in the saving ratio, we have a rise in saving ratio and a fall in saving ratio. So that's what we need to talk about now. So we're going to the potential consequences of changes in the saving ratio. So changes in the saving ratio could be a fall in the saving ratio or a rise in the saving ratio. So we're going to start with a rise in the saving ratio. I wrote a rise in the saving ratio means may reduce aggregate demand by reducing consumption. So if there's a rise in the saving ratio, it means the rate at which people start saving is increasing. And if people are saving more, it means they spend less. So that means aggregate demand is expected to fall. However, investment may increase to compensate for that. So we might think people spend less. Because people save more might not necessarily mean that people spend less. Because aggregate demand might also increase. How? Because investment might increase. This is how it works. If people save more within the economy, if people start saving, remember, investment is based on savings from the fund. So that means when we talk about funding comes from household savings. Banks, you save in the bank uses the money for investment. That's how it works, right? So it means the more you save, the more households save within the economy, the more investment funds are available, the more the availability of funds for investors, because they will have more money to spend for investment. So that means saving more, which reduces aggregate demand, may be compensated with increasing investment within the economy. Do you get the point? Yes. Or not?
No, I do.
Okay, I'm going to say that again. A rise in saving ratio means household consumers are saving more than what they spend. So if they are saving more, this represents a source of investment, a source of finance for investors or entrepreneurs. So that means entrepreneurs will be able to, that means there's money available in the bank for entrepreneurs, businesses to borrow for their investment. So that investment will compensate for a fall in aggregate demand. Do you get the point here?
Yes.
So I wrote, this is possible because savings from households represents the main domestic source of funds to finance investment. So this is beneficial because investment is a key driver to long-run economic growth. So if we invest more in capital goods, it means in the future, prices will be affordable, goods and services will increase, output will increase because we are investing more in capital goods. So that is what economic growth is. So investment is the main key for the long-run economic growth. So which is good for the economy. Yes or no?
Yes.
So that is about a rising saving ratio. Then go to a falling saving ratio. Now I wrote, a fall in saving ratio may not simply mean spending is increasing. As in, if disposable income levels are increasing more slowly than the prices of consumer goods and services, this means households will spend a greater fraction of their income to buy the same quantity of goods as before. So, a fall in savings, to you would think that, because we said disposable income is that amount of money we either spend or save. So if there is a fall in spending, or if there is a fall in saving, to you it means there's a rise in consumption, yes or no? But there might not be a rise in consumption. Why? Because sometimes the level of income is increasing it's increasing slowly than the price of goods and services. So which simply means your level of income now is not increasing with the rate of increase in price of goods and services. That is inflation. So the level of income you have now does not go in line with indexation. So your level of income is not increasing, but price of goods and services are increasing. So if price of goods and services are increasing, it simply means you won't be able to spend the same amount of money you used to spend to get the same quantity of goods. So not that you are saving, but you are spending more. You are spending more than what you used to spend. So it is not saving. Or is it saving?
No.
No. So that means a fall in saving ratio does not necessarily mean an increase in aggregate demand within the economy. That's the first point there. I think you get the point now.
Yes.
So which means they cannot afford to save as they used to. That's reduced saving ratio. Now that the level of income is increasing, it means we cannot spend as we used to spend. And we are not even saving also. So that is the first point. However, for a given level of income and price level, a fall in saving ratio indicates an increase in consumption, which means economic growth. So let's assume all things are equal. The assumption is that all things are equal. So if all things are equal, which means the price level is increasing and the income level is increasing. So if at that point in time there's a fall in saving, it would have meant that people are spending more within the economy. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So the first situation is a fall in saving that does not necessarily increase consumption. But the other one is all things being equal, saving income level is increasing, price level is increasing at the same rate, or income level is constant and price level is constant. So if that is happening and there's a fall in savings, it means consumption is increasing. And if consumption is increasing as a result of that, then there is economic growth. Do you get the point there, please?
Sorry.
So this is because one, a fall in the savings ratio means consumer spending is increasing as a proportion of disposable income. So it means a fall in saving here, based on the fact that all things are equal, consumer spending is increasing. That is what it means. Two, an increase in consumption is expected to improve the current living standards. So we call it economic growth, not because output is increasing or spending is increasing. It simply means people can afford to buy what they cannot buy before now. So the living standards has improved over time. The third one, consumers tend to save less if they are confident about the future income. So we might start saving less. We are talking about reasons why people might want to spend more and save less here. So consumers might save less because the expected income in the future is high. Oh, I could stop saving right now if I know that in the next 2-3 months I'm going to earn more than what I used to earn now. So I can just close down my savings, bust it out and start spending. So I'll save less. That is consumer confidence about their situation in the future. That could also increase spending rather than saving. However, some will fund their spending by borrowing. Note, consumers sometimes will behave irrational. We might take poor decisions. We might make poor decisions. And poor decision might be as a result of we even spending more with borrowing. Because we know in the future we're going to earn more. So I can as well borrow to buy whatever I want to buy right now. So that increases individual debts. And that is problematic for the economy. So I wrote, this builds up personal debts and may create a long-term problem because consumers may have consumers may have to limit their consumption at some point to repay the debts, especially if their income grows slower than expected. Now that we've incurred more debts because we are expecting to have more income in the future, what about if in the future, because it's the future, it's unpredictable, what about in the future, now that we've raised more debts and in the future the income is not increasing? It means we have to stop our consumption. And stopping our consumption means aggregate demand within the economy would fall because a lot of people have borrowed money for consumption and they have to pay back the debt. To pay back the debt, their income is not increasing. They have to cut down spending. So cutting down spending means cutting down aggregate demand, which is another problem within the economy. Because if aggregate demand within the economy is falling, unemployment will rise. Do you get the point I'm making here? So that's the point I'm making. So also, an overdependence on consumer may create an unbalanced economy. So for firms, investors, if banks have to rely on savings to fund investment, then there's problem. It will be a problem because it means investors are relying on consumer savings to start their own investment. So over reliance on them will mean that they are vulnerable to consumers. What about if consumers are unable to save? So that means the economic growth, there will be negative economic growth. There will be decline in output. That is the point about an unbalanced economy here. Over reliance. Now individuals, they've raked up a lot of debts. They have to pay off debts. As a result of that, they won't be able to spend. They will rather pay off debts. They are not saving, but they are repaying their loans.
Yes.
Do you get the point here? So it means firms, businesses that are expecting to get savings from individuals are wasting time because they won't get. That's an unbalanced situation. And at the same time, because we spend more within the economy, we're not saving. We might be spending on importation. Because we talked about living standards improving. If living standards is improving, it simply means those things I felt, okay, I need some imported goods. I don't want to consume domestic goods anymore. I want to consume imported goods. So I could as well consume more imported goods. Then what happens to domestic firms? The revenue would fall for them. So that's another problem about saving less. Do you understand? So imports are likely to be high because some spending are maybe done through importation. I explained that. So now notice this. Either a fall in saving ratio or a rise in saving ratio might not be problematic. It depends on the current situation of the economy. So here I wrote, note, a rising saving ratio or a falling saving ratio may not be problematic. It will depend on the current state of the economy. So for example, if economic growth is low or negative, saving ratio will make it worse. If the economy is in decline or there's a negative economic growth, if there's a rise in saving ratio, it will make it worse. How? The economy is not growing. And for the economy to grow, aggregate demand has to increase. But now, saving is increasing more than spending. Then how will aggregate demand increases? So it means a high saving ratio with an economic decline will make the situation worse. Do you get the point now?
Yes.
To make an economy to grow, aggregate demand has to increase. But if savings is increasing, then aggregate demand is not increasing. Okay. That's why most of the time, when aggregate demand is falling, government will find policies that would bring about expansionary situation, like expansionary fiscal policy, expansionary monetary policy, because these things will increase spending within the economy. Expansionary fiscal policy could be through increasing subsidy. So if government increases its spending, goods become affordable, then consumer will start buying more. Aggregate demand would increase. Government might also use expansionary fiscal policy through cutting taxes. If government cuts taxes, it means disposable income would increase. People will have more income to spend, then aggregate demand would increase. So without the expansionary fiscal policy or monetary policy, aggregate demand would not increase.
Okay.
So here, saving more in an economy that is in decline will make the situation worse. Clear?
Yes.
However, if the aggregate demand is growing too quickly, then a rising saving ratio will be beneficial. So if aggregate demand is going at a faster rate, it will bring about inflation. So people should start saving at that point in time. So a rise in saving ratio when the aggregate demand is increasing would be beneficial to the economy, because it simply means people will stop spending and start saving. Then demand pull inflation would reduce. Because if care is not taken with an increasing aggregate demand within the economy, firms will respond by increasing the prices of goods and services, and that will bring about demand pull inflation.
Okay.
So if the economy is growing, government can also solve the problem. If aggregate demand is increasing within the economy, to ensure that there's no inflation, government will use contractionary fiscal policy, contractionary monetary policy. What does contractionary monetary policy or fiscal policy means? For contractionary fiscal policy, it means government would reduce its spending or increase its taxes. For contractionary monetary policy, government would increase interest rate. So because if government increases interest rate, amount of more borrowing will reduce. Firms will not want to invest more. Consumers will not want to borrow more to consume. So that's the relationship between consumption. That's the relationship between savings, consumption, and income. Any question, please?
No.